All right, so hopefully at this point you have at least 4 images to do a static mashup to make a new poster, or a poster for a new movie. You have at least 4. You may have up to 7. You could actually have more. You always want to have some ideas on the back burner, so if these images don't work, you know what images you can use. So going to learn some new tools in Photopea. So we learned a little bit about layers and turning them on and off and the order of them when we were talking about text, but I do want to review that. So like right now, if I want Mary Poppins to be on top, I need to drag her layer on top. If I don't want to see these 2 Mary Poppins images, or even I don't want to see this image, I want to turn all those off for right now, because I'm going to work with this image. This image is going to kind of be my background image, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. And I want to expand the size of this image. So I want to make sure I have that check mark in my transform controls. So I have this bounding box, and I can easily expand the image. Now we are working with a 7x7 canvas size. You should have refer to yesterday's document if you're not sure if you have your canvas size set up correctly. Also refer to yesterday's lesson if you don't already have your images in Photopea. So I'm going to bring this to the bottom, and I'm going to actually fill this top in later with some additional images. Actually, no, I want to bring it to about here. So then I'm going to go ahead and turn this image on, and we are going to talk about our first selection method. So in my example that I'm going to do for you, my goal was to have the alligator right in this area. So we need to select just the alligator and get rid of everything else. Now, there are lots of selection methods out there, but we're going to start off with one that's just, I'm going to call it a dirty selection. And I'm going to call it a dirty selection because we're not going to be very critical about where we're making the selection. So we are going to make our selection. I just lost a tool. We're going to make our first selection with the lasso tool. So if I hold the second tool down, which is my selection tool, I can find, and I'm going to use the polygon lasso. It seems to be functioning a little different than normal. Hang on a second. Okay, so something that I have learned about Photopea over the years, you do need to think about how you're viewing. If you're not seeing tools that I'm seeing, or you're seeing more tools, it could be with how you're zoomed in or out. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and now I'm getting additional tools. So I was looking for this polygon lasso tool. Ideally, I shouldn't have to go. These should be 2 separate tools on your toolbar. So I want this polygon lasso tool. And now I'm choosing the selection. It's kind of like freeform. So at this point, I want to cover up the rest of this image. I want to cover up, or I want to hide. So the term in Photopea is called masking. I want to mask out the rest of this image. And I'm going to do that by choosing this Add Raster Mask. And when I do that, it's going to give me, these are called thumbnails. It's going to give me an additional thumbnail. And anywhere I put black, it's going to erase, and anywhere I put white, it's going to bring it back. So we'll go into more detail about that in a later lesson. At this point, we're just kind of doing, I'll say, that dirty version. So I'm going to have my alligator chilling down here. Now I'm going to flip this image on. So my thought process for this image is it is going to be a bit smaller and in the background, almost like it's on the green happening back here. In the end, it's probably going to cover up these trees. We'll talk more about that as we move on, but right now we're just trying to get kind of a rough layout of what our project is going to look like. And then I'm going to turn Mary on as she's floating through the sky. And Mary is, I'm going to use a clone tool later to extend these trees, and these trees are going to blend into here. And Mary is going to just kind of be floating up here. So I am going to, again, show you the polygon lasso and kind of quickly cut Mary out and mask her. So I'm going to select. And then I am going to choose that Add Raster Mask button again. So at this point in our mashup, I should maybe have an idea of how you are going to lay your images out, a little bit maybe with your layer order, and I should see that you have been able to make some selections and apply some layer masks. So don't forget to put a screenshot on your work for the week. So that screenshot should be going right here under week 4 into this document. We'll be adding a screenshot each day that we're working. So again, our goal for today was to make sure we understand how to use a selection tool, a lasso selection tool, and how to mask out images. Do make sure, I want to review this. When you are finished working each day, you want to do a file, save as PSD, but then this document that is now in your downloads, you need to go to your Google Drive and you need to upload that document. So file, upload, and I should have renamed this project first. I should have called it Movie Mash, but you want to upload that to Google Drive. So if your Chromebook loses battery or dumps the downloads, you still have access to this project in your Google Drive. And then from there, you would need to, when you're ready to open your project the next day, download, and then in Photopea, do that file open after you've downloaded it. And we'll talk more about that at the beginning of our next lesson. So have a good one. Have a good one, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.